Marcus phased out.
He's hiding from you back here.
I know. I know.
No, he's just hiding from you. He wants.
Nadine's
to
normally right there. You're normally up front. Well, excited, obviously. It's definitely felt like we've been doing this for a very long time. You get 8 weeks over the summer, and with the new rules of 4 hours a week versus 2 hours a week, it's basically made it that you're going 4 days a week for 8 weeks. Then they go home, and then you come back, and we started out early. It's been a very, very productive fall. Today will be, a nice change of pace. These guys are sick and tired of beating up on each other. Creighton was a really good opportunity for us because just to play against another team. I don't look at it like we beat them because I don't think either coach was really trying to win the game. It was just productive. Everybody played, did a lot of good things. So we're excited to play in front of our fans that come out today, as well as obviously excited for November 6th. Eric won't play today because of swelling to the knee. I don't think it's anything serious. He was good for most of practice, but we're going to hold him out because of swelling. I think you guys know about Dupree has a family emergency. He'll be back tonight. Marcus Carr obviously still has this waiver submitted to the NCAA. We have not heard back. We're confident that he'll get it. We feel like he should get it. But you never know with all that stuff. So we should hear hopefully soon on it. And then lastly, if you could just mention on November 4th, Coaches versus Cancer, we're doing something at Interlochen at 5:30. All proceeds go to Coaches versus Cancer and the cancer research. So if you could just mention that, you can go cancer.org, Google Coaches versus Cancer Minnesota, and it pops up there. Even if you can't attend, and it's open to the public, if you want to make a donation as well, that'd be appreciated. So with that, questions?
Coach, what's your experience been as far as what is that window on these waivers and how much further?
I would think it's soon. Yeah, what happens normally is you submit the waiver, they come back, they ask for more information, and so it's a process, but it'll be soon.
Have you practiced as if you won't have him in terms of the starting lineup and rotation? What do you do?
No, I always kind of mix that up anyway, so I'm assuming that he'll play, until somebody tells me otherwise.
When you look at that position, Isaiah obviously has some experience from last year, kind of under Nate Mason's wing. Amir's been practicing. What do you think from an experience standpoint? Obviously, Marcus probably has as much experience as anybody.
Yeah, Marcus plays like a veteran. Played 32 minutes a game as a freshman, I believe, in the ACC. He is a fierce competitor. He's tough. Makes a lot of winning plays. He's a guy you want on your team. So I think he's a special player. So it would do nothing but it would drastically help our team, obviously, if you play right away.
What's the level of defense like that Eric and Daniel are going to bring to your front court?
Yeah, I mean, Eric does so many little things. If you think about 2 years ago, we're in the, with that team that went to the NCAA tournament, probably at the end of a lot of games, I put Eric in at the 5 and took Reggie out. And obviously Reggie's a terrific shot blocker, but Eric does a lot of little things defensively. He moves really, really well. Ball screen defense is terrific. Post defense is really, really good. And then Daniel's got that natural shot blocking ability. He's got great timing. He's just got a little ways to go with everything else, like all the freshmen do. But I think he's going to be a terrific player. But we're a much, much better team when Eric is healthy. He substantially makes our team better.
How much do you think that Daniel and Eric will help Jordan kind of get to where he was at the end of the year where he had that support in the front court?
Yeah, I mean, just having good players around you. You know what I mean? It's last year. Talk about it till we're blue in the face, but when you lose 3 players in the middle of the season, Dupree can hardly walk and Nate's hurt. Just having a healthy team helps. And when you take all those weapons off the court, obviously, they know that we're going to go to Jordan Murphy a lot. So the best thing you could do with a guy like Murphy is put him around good players, and I think we have that.
A lot of players have talked about an emphasis in practice defensively, and to improve last year, what needs to happen to take that step forward and be a better defensive team?
We've got to be more disruptive. we've got to do it without fouling. I think we've brought refs in probably 2 or 3 times, and that's been beneficial because once the season starts, there's always point of emphasis on certain things, and all of a sudden you see some calls being made. So there's a lot of whistles. So you got to be able to disrupt. Defense is all about you set the rules. And we've got to be able to do that.
With such varying skill sets on your team, how much is early experimentation going to lead you to some lineup combinations?
I don't know if I can experiment too much. I mean, if you look at our non-conference schedule, I experiment. In recruiting, it's very, very important that we recruit versatile players and guys that can evolve and play different positions and do those things. And, I tell everybody on the team, you need to know multiple positions. The only one who won't play more than one position, in my opinion, is Motts. Everybody else will play multiple positions. So if I'm confident that I can put you in the game and you know how to run that play at the 2 and the 3, it's going to get you more minutes. If I'm not, I'm probably not going to put you in. So very, very important that they all know that.
Does the Big Ten dictate that you almost have to have 2 low post type players all the time on the floor? We see the NBA going to 4 out and all this stuff now. Is there much that you can do in conference play, or does the Big Ten just make you be strong in the paint?
That's a good question. I think a lot is predicated on going inside, but, Purdue's 4-man last year was Vince Edwards. He's 6'6". Michigan plays small. So, I think you got to play to your strengths. And it's kind of like I talked about where you make the rules. The good teams find a way to make the other team play to the way they want to play. We've got some good big guys, so we got to make sure we go inside.
You've seen Curry improve his three-point shooting?
Yeah, big time. He's picking and popping, making some really good shots. He looks great. I'm kind of bummed that he's not going to be able to go today, but he just had that swelling, so I have to be patient. But I think he looks really, really good, and he can stretch the defense.
With all the injuries from last year, most of you guys have had a long period of time since they've been healthy. Eric has just been back, but Daniel's been a little bit, he's had about a month, right, since he's been back. Where do you see the other guys that have come back from injuries, kind of how comfortable they look?
The guys that were injured last year, how comfortable? They look good. Amir looks great. You wouldn't know that he was hurt last year from looking at him. Eric again. Eric's the only one that he's had like a minor setback with that calf deal. Dupree we gave him a bunch of rest at the end of the season. He's been playing really, really well as well. So they all look good. Daniel looks good. The toughest part about Daniel is for a freshman, it's hard to miss time just to learn the, ins and outs of what we're trying to do.
He said that he came in, right around 210, 215, and now he's up almost 240. I mean, is that kind of the strength and conditioning program you have where freshmen that put on a lot of weight and strength and,
Yeah, I mean, I think once you get to our level, the amount of food that you're given, you have a nutritionist, you have a strength and conditioning coach. We're monitoring their diet. We're making sure they're eating the right way. And then obviously a strength and conditioning program, which, most high schools just don't have that. So all those factors go into it, and he looks great. I mean, I think he's got a chance to be pretty special.
Coach, you got a lot of wingspan with a number of your guys. Do you see zone defense a little bit more in the past?
Yeah, I mean, we'll always sprinkle it in. I think we'll play a lot of man. In our conference, it's kind of tough to zone a lot of teams because every team seems to have a lot of size and skill, and that way they're able to shoot over it, look over it. But that'll be something that we have in there. We've certainly practiced it as well as we're going to have to go against it.
Something that you look at too with foul trouble sometimes with your bigs?
Yeah, I'm not a big believer in, okay, we don't need to foul, let's play zone. I think you're taking your foot off the gas. You should be able to play any type of defense with a level of aggressiveness and be able to do it without fouling.
Your dad was a good friend of, or is with Jim Boeheim. Did you ever, in your own coaching, look strongly at, the Syracuse 2-3 zone?
Yeah, we've played a lot of zone. I mean, I think my first year when we won the NIT, we played a decent amount of zone. One of the things about that zone that's so good is the length.
Span.
They're so long at every single position, especially the guard spots. You're normally going to have a big 5 and a big 4 and even a small forward. But their ones and twos are about 6'7", 6'6" as well. But I was talking to somebody about it earlier. I'm amazed at that zone. It's a lot more, detailed than people think.
What changes have you made this year? I mean, obviously strength and conditioning, what has changed with that? And do you feel like the chemistry's better with this team?
Well, very, very hard to judge chemistry right now because there's been no adversity. You're going to find out soon when it gets difficult how strong the chemistry is. When you play the Creighton game, everybody's happy. Everybody played like 20-something minutes. There's no fans. There's no media. There's no national TV. So you're not under duress. What happens and why chemistry is so important is when you get under duress and when you're playing, in front of packed crowds on national TV, you got your family, you got your friends, you got people having an opinion about what's going on. That's where chemistry is so important. So they've been really, really good, but it'd probably be a problem if they weren't good right now. So we will see. I mean, the beauty of our non-conference is we'll be greatly tested. So it'll reveal a lot, where we're at before December 5th.
Are you able to tap into some of the messaging you used back in 2016 to motivate the team off of a tough year?
Totally different. I mean, people have wanted to, group those two seasons together, which just makes no sense to me, but I try not to figure any of this stuff out. I mean, there was a reason why we had a tough year. What I've got to get our guys to understand is still use it as motivation. Like, don't just say, oh, we know why we had a bad year. Where 3 years ago, when we had a tough year, we were young, we were close, and we felt like we could break through. Last year, to me, was just a total fluke of bad luck after bad luck. So we've got to make sure that we don't feel sorry for ourselves. We've got to move on. This season has nothing to do with last season, just like my fourth year really had nothing to do with the year before.
What can Daniel take from Jordan on the rebounding standpoint?
Yeah, I think that, Jordan's playing at a really, really high level right now. I've told him over and over again, every pro scout that comes in here, and we've had several, they all say the same thing. We know about his production. His production speaks for itself. What he's been able to do for 3 years, you can't deny the production. Now it's going to come down to how well you move. Do you move like an NBA player? And I just told Jordan, I'm like, man, if you play hard every single possession and you do every little thing, you'll play in the NBA. And that's a dream for me, for him to be in it. I know he wants to do it, and I think he's close. So for Jordan, it's all about a mentality. And with Daniel, and he's got a pretty good mentality for a young kid, if he has that mentality to do what we call, we talk a lot about 95%. Well, throughout the course of a game, 100% would be your game, right? Well, you really only have the ball in your hands 5% of the time. What do you do with the other 95%? And a guy like Daniel, if he ever wants to play at the next level, he needs to be a great ball screen guy. He needs to be a great ball screen defense guy. He needs to be able to roll to the rim. He needs to be able to sprint the court, duck in early, play post defense. Like, that's so valuable for him because he's got all the tools. He's got all the talent to do it.
Couple more for Coach.
Did you put that on the, at the Athletes Village, did you have that on the wall
Yeah.
last year too?
No.
Okay.
Keeping it fresh.
The practice, is that a jersey or is like a shirt that,
Yeah.
what,
So what we did, it's kind of funny, and we do a plus-minus system. We've always done a plus-minus system in practice, and that entails of a lot of different things. A lot of it's hustle stats. A lot of it's that 95%, whether it's deflections, turnovers would be a minus, fouls would be a minus, a missed shot would be a minus, not going offensive rebound, not blocking out. So there's a big thing in it. And we total it up every day, and then at the end of every week, whoever wins gets a jersey, and the jersey we put on the back, I practice harder than you. I'm really, really big on shaming the rest of the players, And so we do that, and then the guy that gets the I practice harder than you jersey, we keep a running total. It's on the TV in the locker room as well as the film room, that total, as well as I give them extra water breaks. and do certain things like that within reason that you're allowed to do. The bottom four, whoever's in that bottom four, they have extra conditioning. So it's been very, very competitive. It's been Amir and Murph basically have gotten them all. I think Peyton had one as well. And I won't tell you who the bottom four guys are, but those are pretty consistent as well.
What's your relationship with Lindsay Whalen, and will you be there on November 9th?
Really good relationship with Lindsay. I don't know if I'll be there. I have no idea what we're doing. If I'm not doing anything, I will be there. I'd love to go. Bring my daughter Ava if she wants to come. But I'm so impressed by her so far. Obviously, the resume speaks for itself. What she's been able to accomplish is amazing. Obviously, when you sell out your first game, kudos to her and the buzz that she's bringing back, to that program. So she's going to knock it out of the park. She's got a really good staff. I've watched a couple practices, been very, very impressed as well.
Richard, can a coach create a chemistry, or does that always come almost organically from players and how they end up relating to each other?
We try very, very hard. Like tonight, I just surprised them. We're going to take them to the Vikings game. And we try to do a lot of team exercises to go along with creating some adversity in practice. But at the end of the day, they've got to be able to do it together on the court. Yes, it's important for them to get along off the court, and I think our guys do, and I think they're really good kids, and they really care about winning. But can they figure it out under duress? And that's why I'm playing such a tough schedule, because I think this team could do some big things.
What other team-building activities have you had, or excursions?
Excursions. Well, we were going to do paintball, but it was over the summer and it was really, really hot, and I was concerned about my safety because they were going to come after me. So we were going to figure that one out. We did. What else have we done? We did the program, which was that military thing that we brought in. Those two guys. That was terrific. That was probably the best thing I've done since I've been a coach. We brought two guys who were former military members, and they trained our guys. And we take things from that. And basically what they do at the end of the day is they force the guys to take ownership. And we were in the pool, so it's 2 days, and we were in the pool. The players were in the pool at 6 a.m. And we have 4 or 5 guys who can't swim. The military guys don't care. They say, just hold on to the side. I'm kind of like trying to grab them. But their last mission was they had to wear a hooded sweatshirt in the pool, and they had to be able to take the sweatshirt off and give it to their teammate. And then the mission would be completed. Then they have to do something to complete it. But at the end of the day, the easiest way to take off a hooded sweatshirt in a pool is to go underwater. Well, there's 4 or 5 guys on your team that cannot swim. They have to be able to trust their teammates. And the best part about the program was there was only one. They've been doing it for like 10, 12 years. And they give a shirt to the guy who embodies what they're trying to do. And Jarvis Omersa got it. And he was one of 2 guys who's gotten it ever since they've done it. Showed unbelievable leadership. Every drill that we did, somebody else ran it, one of the players. And it was really, really good. So that was very beneficial.
Last one for Coach. Will Hunt be wearing a Saints jersey tonight?
Well, that was an issue because he is a diehard Saints fan. I mean, diehard Saints fan. And so we bought him hats, Vikings hats, and we passed them out to everybody. And the first thing everybody did was grab it and try to put it on Hunt. And he resisted. So I told him, I said, you can't root for the Saints, not when we go in there. So if any Vikings fans see him root for the Saints, give him the Eagles fans treatment. Just start throwing things at him. All right? Thank you, guys.